Imagine owning a piece of waterfront property where people pay you every month just to park their boats. No inventory to manufacture, no restaurant kitchen, no hundreds of employees, just docks, water, and boat owners willing to pay for a place to keep their million-dollar toys. Sounds like easy money, but there's a problem. Waterfront property is expensive. Docks constantly need maintenance. Storms can destroy infrastructure. Insurance can be brutal. And when boat owners stop coming, your empty slips don't generate a single dollar. So how does a marina actually make money? And more importantly, how much of that money does the owner actually keep? Let's break down the economics of owning a marina. Before a marina can make money, you need something extremely valuable: waterfront property. And unlike ordinary real estate, you can't simply buy a piece of land and start renting parking spaces. You need suitable water access. You need docks. You need permits. You need infrastructure. And depending on the location, you may need significant environmental and regulatory approvals. This makes the initial investment enormous. A small marina in a less expensive market might require a relatively modest investment, but a large marina in a desirable waterfront location can easily become a multi-million-dollar real estate project. And this creates the first important part of the business model. You're not really buying a parking lot. You're buying scarce waterfront real estate and monetizing access to it, because there are only so many places where someone can safely keep a boat. And that's what makes the economics interesting. The primary revenue stream is simple: slip rentals. A slip is essentially a parking space for a boat, except instead of parking on concrete, you're parking on water. A marina might have dozens, hundreds, or even more slips, and customers can pay monthly, seasonally, or annually depending on the marina and market. Imagine you own a marina with 200 rentable slips. If the average customer pays $500 per month and the marina stays close to full occupancy, that's potentially $100,000 in monthly slip revenue, or around $1.2 million per year, and that's before the marina sells anything else. But there's an important number hidden inside this calculation: occupancy. Because a marina with 200 slips doesn't automatically have 200 paying customers. Maybe 180 are occupied, maybe 150, maybe only 100. Every empty slip represents revenue that can never be recovered for that month. You can't sell yesterday's empty slip tomorrow. So just like hotels and self-storage facilities, occupancy is everything. But here's where marina economics gets even more interesting. The owner isn't limited to charging for the slip. A good marina can create multiple revenue streams from the same customer. And the first one is fuel. Boat owners need fuel. If the marina operates a fuel dock, it can earn money every time customers fill their tanks. And unlike slip rental, fuel creates a transaction every time someone uses it. Then there are boat repairs, maintenance, engine servicing, cleaning, winterization, and other marine services. Some marinas also offer boat storage, dry stack storage, retail shops, restaurants, or other businesses on the property. That means the marina isn't simply renting space. It's building an entire ecosystem around boat ownership. And that's extremely important, because the most valuable customer isn't necessarily the person who pays the highest slip fee. It's the customer who spends money on everything. Imagine two boat owners. Customer A pays you $600 a month for a slip. That's $7,200 a year. Customer B pays the same $600, but also buys fuel, uses maintenance services, pays for winter storage, gets their boat cleaned, and spends money at the marina's other businesses. Suddenly, that customer might be worth far more than the basic slip rental suggests. This is one of the biggest advantages of the marina model. The slip gets the customer through the gate. The additional services increase the value of that customer. But now we get to the expensive part. Operating a marina isn't cheap. Those beautiful docks you see floating on the water, they don't maintain themselves. Constant exposure to water, sunlight, storms, waves, corrosion, and heavy use creates continuous maintenance requirements. Docks need repairs, electrical systems need servicing, water systems need maintenance, lighting needs replacement, security systems need monitoring, and eventually, entire sections of the marina may need to be rebuilt or replaced. Then there are utilities. A marina may provide electricity and water to boat owners. There are also property taxes, insurance, administrative expenses, cleaning, landscaping, security, and staff. And depending on the marina, there can be another enormous expense: dredging. Over time, sediment can accumulate in waterways. If the water becomes too shallow, larger boats may not be able to access the marina. So the owner may need to remove that sediment. And dredging isn't exactly a cheap landscaping project. It's a major infrastructure expense. Then there's the expense that every waterfront property owner fears: storms. A major storm can damage docks, boats, electrical systems, buildings, and other infrastructure. And even if insurance covers part of the damage, there can still be deductibles, downtime, lost revenue, and operational disruption. This creates a strange problem. A marina can look incredibly profitable during a normal year, and then one major event can create a massive, unexpected expense. That's why experienced owners don't simply look at annual revenue. They look at risk-adjusted cash flow. Let's build a simplified example. Suppose our marina has 200 slips. Average monthly slip revenue is $600. At 90% occupancy, that's roughly $108,000 per month, or about $1.3 million per year from slip rentals. Now add other revenue: fuel, storage, repairs, maintenance, boat services, retail, and other customer spending. Let's imagine all of that brings total annual revenue to around $2 million. At first glance, that sounds fantastic. But now the expenses begin: staff and labor, utilities, insurance, property taxes, maintenance, dock repairs, security, administration, dredging reserves, marketing, and other operating expenses. Let's say all of those consume roughly $1 million per year. Now you're left with $1 million, but we're still not finished. Because if the marina was purchased using debt, there's financing. A large property can carry a very large loan, and debt payments can dramatically reduce the owner's actual cash flow. Let's say financing costs consume another $500,000 per year. Now the owner is left with approximately $500,000. And remember, that's a simplified illustration. Real marina economics can be dramatically different depending on location, property value, occupancy, financing, weather exposure, and the services offered. But it demonstrates something important. Revenue is not profit. A marina can generate millions of dollars and still leave the owner with far less than people expect. So what makes a marina genuinely attractive? Location. A marina in a beautiful waterfront destination with limited competition can have enormous pricing power. Because boat owners aren't just buying a parking space, they're buying access. Access to the water, access to a convenient location, access to services, and sometimes access to an entire boating community. If nearby marinas are full, demand can become extremely strong. And that's where the economics of scarcity kick in. You can't simply build a new marina anywhere you want. Waterfront development can be restricted, permits can be difficult, environmental regulations can limit expansion, and suitable waterfront locations are finite. So an existing marina in the right location can become extremely valuable. But there's another factor that can make or break the business: customer retention. A boat owner who keeps their vessel at your marina for 5 or 10 years is extremely valuable. You don't need to constantly find a new customer. They keep paying, they keep buying fuel, they keep using services, and they keep generating revenue. That creates something investors love: recurring revenue. And recurring revenue makes the business more predictable. Instead of starting every month at zero, you may begin the month with hundreds of customers already paying you. But what happens when the economy slows down? This is where things become complicated. Boating is generally a discretionary activity. If customers start cutting expenses, some may delay repairs, some may sell their boats, some may move to cheaper storage, and new boat purchases can decline. The marina still has its fixed expenses, the docks still need maintenance, the property tax still has to be paid, the insurance bill doesn't disappear, and the debt payment still arrives every month. So the owner has to maintain high enough occupancy and customer spending to cover those fixed costs. That's the economic challenge. So, is owning a marina a good business? It can be. But it's not simply a business where you buy some docks and collect rent. You're really combining 3 businesses into one: real estate, hospitality, and marine services. The real estate provides the scarce location, The slips create recurring revenue, and the additional services increase the value of every customer. If the marina has a great location, high occupancy, strong customer retention, and multiple revenue streams, the economics can become extremely attractive. But if occupancy falls, maintenance explodes, or a major storm damages the property, that same waterfront asset can quickly become a very expensive problem. And that's the strange economics of owning a marina. You're not really selling water. You're selling something much more valuable: access to the water. And when waterfront space is scarce, customers can be willing to pay thousands of dollars every year just to keep their boat in the right place. So the next time you see a marina filled with boats, don't just see expensive yachts sitting in the water. See hundreds of recurring revenue contracts floating on top of a very expensive piece of real estate. And that is what makes the marina business so interesting. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the channel, because in the next video, we're going to take another ordinary-looking business and break down the economics hiding underneath it. And if there's a business you want us to analyze next, drop it in the comments. You might just see it in the next video.